Welcome to the deep dive.
Right.
Today, we're going to do a deep dive on someone that you specifically requested, Ana de Armas.
Ooh, exciting.
Buckle up, because we're going from Cuban stages all the way to Hollywood blockbusters.
Sounds like fun.
So you sent us this fantastic bio from biography.com.
Great source.
It gives us a great place to start and kind of unravel the story of this really incredible rising star.
Yeah, she's really making a name for herself.
And we're talking about a childhood without video games. Can you imagine?
Wow.
An early start in Cuban theater, a pretty bold move to Hollywood, and of course all those like scene-stealing roles like Joy in Blade Runner 2049.
I mean, such a great movie.
Oh, it's so good.
Visually stunning.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah, let's get into it.
So I was blown away when I learned that she started acting at 14.
Wow.
14. And she was already in films by 16.
That's incredible.
I mean, I was barely figuring out algebra at that age.
Right, like what were we doing?
I know.
That's amazing.
I was just trying to figure out where to sit at lunch.
Ex-
And she's already like a movie star.
A working actor.
Yeah.
Well, and starting that young, especially in a theater environment, really have a profound impact on an actor's development.
You think so?
Oh, absolutely.
How come?
It's like this immersive training ground where they can really hone their craft from such a young age.
Oh, so they have all this time to just get good, basically.
Yeah, it really shapes their approach to acting.
Okay, that makes sense. And she didn't just stay in Cuba either.
Right.
She moved to Spain and learned Spanish and landed this leading role in this popular TV series called El Internado.
Ambitious.
Talk about a go-getter, right?
Absolutely. And for international actors, that kind of adaptability is key.
In what way?
Moving to a new country,
Mm-hmm.
immersing yourself in a different culture, mastering a new language. Those are massive challenges, and she just took them all on.
Yeah, and it feels like she just like sets these incredible goals for herself and then just systematically achieves them.
It's pretty impressive.
I know, and speaking of goals, she decides to conquer Hollywood next. So did you know that she learned English specifically for her roles?
That level of commitment is really remarkable.
I know.
Learning a new language as an adult is no small feat,
It's incredibly hard.
let alone mastering it to the point where you can act convincingly.
Oh, that's a good point.
It probably gave her such a nuanced understanding of language and how it impacts performance.
Do you think so?
Think about it. Every word, every inflection takes on new meaning when you're performing in a language you had to learn.
Wow, that's a really good point. I never thought about it like that.
It really adds a layer of depth to the performance.
Okay, I have to geek out for a second about Blade Runner 2049.
Oh, yes.
Okay, her portrayal of Joy, the holographic companion.
Breathtaking.
I know, it was just breathtaking who didn't fall for her charm.
Seriously.
Serious.
Such a visually stunning film with incredible special effects, and her performance was absolutely crucial to its success.
Do you think so?
I think so.
How come?
The challenge of acting with CGI, where so much is added in post-production, can be immense.
Well, that's true, yeah.
Yet she brought this genuine sense of humanity and emotion to a digital character.
It's true, and it's so interesting because, you know, she's acting opposite nothing.
Right.
And still manages to be so captivating and have so much chemistry.
Right. It really solidified her presence in Hollywood.
It really did.
After that, everyone knew her name.
And then there's Knives Out.
Such a fun movie.
It's so good.
I love a good whodunit.
Me too, and it's so clever.
It is.
And it's got this powerhouse ensemble cast.
So many big names.
I know basically every single person in that movie is like an A-list actor.
Right. And she holds her own.
Oh, she totally steals the show.
Completely.
Not to mention scores, a Golden Globe nomination.
In a role.
For that role, yeah.
That's amazing.
Knives Out really showcased her comedic timing and her ability to play a character with hidden depths.
Oh, totally.
Like, do you remember that scene where she pretends to vomit?
Oh, yeah. It's brilliant.
It's so good. She seamlessly balanced those dramatic and comedic elements.
Kept the audience guessing.
Totally kept us on our toes the whole time about her character's true motives.
A truly talented actress.
Oh, you're so right. I totally forgot about that scene.
I know, right?
She's like a chameleon, like completely transforming for each role.
Absolutely.
Speaking of proving herself, she lands a role as a Bond girl in No Time to Die.
Talk about iconic.
I know that's a testament to her versatility.
For sure.
Stepping into a franchise like that can be daunting.
Oh, absolutely.
But she totally held her own alongside Daniel Craig.
She did great.
Yeah, and it's so funny because she said once that action wasn't really her comfort zone.
Is that right?
Yeah, clearly she's not afraid to push her boundaries and embrace new challenges.
That's what makes her so great.
She's like, bring it on, I can do anything.
I love that attitude.
And then, of course, there's Blonde,
Oh, yes.
playing Marilyn Monroe. That is a huge undertaking.
It is.
It's a role that comes with so much baggage and expectation.
Definitely.
And the casting choice itself sparked a lot of debate,
It did.
which is interesting in itself.
In what way?
It kind of highlights these ongoing conversations about representation in Hollywood.
Oh, for sure. Like, who gets to play these iconic roles and how those stories are told.
Yeah.
Really important conversations to be having.
Yeah. And speaking of complex figures, De Armas is actually pretty private about her personal life.
Yeah, she is.
We know she was married to the Spanish actor Marc Clotet for a few years.
Right.
And then there was that high-profile relationship with Ben Affleck, which, let's be honest, had the whole world talking.
Oh, absolutely. That was everywhere.
I know.
But it's a good reminder that celebrities, despite their fame, have their own personal lives. And they deserve respect and privacy.
That's true. It's easy to get caught up in the gossip and forget that they're human beings just like us.
Exactly. And speaking of being human, I love how she still makes time to visit her family in Cuba.
It's sweet.
Even with her crazy schedule, she keeps those roots strong.
That connection to her heritage probably plays a significant role in who she is, both as a person and as an artist.
Oh, for sure. It's a reminder that our past shapes our present, even as we evolve and grow.
Oh, that's such a good point.
It's all part of her story.
Okay, I'm already feeling like I've learned so much.
Me too.
And we're just getting started.
I know there's so much more to cover.
We've gone from Cuban theaters to Spanish television to Hollywood blockbusters.
Quite the journey.
I know, and all before she even hit 30.
It's mind-blowing.
It really is.
It makes you wonder what's next for Ana de Armas.
Right.
She's tackled such a diverse range of roles already.
Where will her ambition and talent lead her next?
That's what makes following her career so exciting.
It really is.
The sense of anticipation, the endless possibilities.
You know, I had this thought while I was prepping for this deep dive.
Oh,
I actually remember seeing Knives Out in theaters and being completely captivated by her performance.
I bet.
I even turned to my friend and said, "This woman is going to be a star."
Who called it?
I know.
That intuition speaks volumes about her screen presence.
Oh, really?
Even in a film with such a talented ensemble cast,
Right.
she managed to stand out.
It's like she has this magnetism that you can't help but be drawn to.
You can't take your eyes off her.
I know, and it's not just charisma.
No.
It's her ability to convey depth and vulnerability, even in seemingly simple roles.
There's just something special about her.
So true. She doesn't just play characters, she embodies them.
Yeah.
You feel like you're getting a glimpse into their souls.
It's a rare gift.
It is.
To be able to make the audience care about her characters even if they're flawed or make questionable choices.
Exactly like in Knives Out, her character, Marta, is incredibly kind and compassionate.
Yeah.
But she's also incredibly complex.
That's true.
She's caught in this web of lies and deceit, and you're constantly on the edge of your seat wondering what she'll do next.
I never know what to expect.
It's her ability to convey that inner turmoil, that struggle between right and wrong that makes her performance so compelling.
It's like you can see the wheels turning in her head.
It's like she's not afraid to show the messy, complicated parts of being human.
Exactly. And that's what makes her so relatable.
Yeah.
We all have those internal conflicts, those moments of doubt and uncertainty.
Oh, for sure.
That's part of what makes us human.
Okay. I'm already thinking about rewatching Knives Out just to see her performance again.
I'm tempted to do the same.
It's definitely worth a second look.
There are so many layers to her portrayal of Marta, so many subtle nuances that you might miss on the first viewing.
It's the beauty of a good film, isn't it?
Absolutely.
You can watch it multiple times and discover something new each time.
And with an actress like Ana de Armas, who brings such depth and complexity to her roles, that's practically guaranteed.
Okay, so we've established that she's incredibly talented, versatile,
it's-
and driven. But there's one question that keeps popping into my head.
What's that?
What's her secret sauce? Like, what makes her stand out in such a competitive industry?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
I know.
I think it's a combination of factors. Her raw talent, her dedication to her craft,
Mm-hmm.
her willingness to take risks, her ability to connect with audiences on an emotional level.
And her fearlessness.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, think about it. She moved to a new country, learned a new language, broke into Hollywood.
That takes guts.
I know it does.
And she's not afraid to challenge herself with roles that push her outside of her comfort zone.
Like that Bond girl role.
Exactly.
She owned it, even though she admitted that action wasn't her forte.
Exactly. She's not afraid to try new things to experiment and to grow as an artist.
I admire that so much.
It's inspiring.
It's inspiring to see someone who's so dedicated to their craft and so willing to push boundaries.
Absolutely.
And it's that combination of talent, dedication, and fearlessness that makes her such a compelling figure in the film industry.
I couldn't agree more.
Okay, we've talked about her acting chops, her ambition, her versatility, and her fearlessness.
We have covered a lot.
But there's another aspect of her journey that I find particularly interesting.
Oh, what's that?
Her transition to Hollywood.
That's a big one.
I know it's one thing to be a successful actress in your home country.
Right.
It's quite another to break into the American film industry.
The challenges for international actors are immense.
Oh, I bet.
Language barriers, cultural differences, and of course the sheer competitiveness of Hollywood.
Yeah, Hollywood is tough.
It is. But de Armas navigated those obstacles with remarkable grace and determination.
I'm curious, what were some of the specific strategies she might have used to make that transition?
Well, we know she learned English specifically for her roles.
Yeah.
That level of commitment speaks volumes about her drive.
It does.
It's not just about memorizing lines.
Right.
It's about understanding the nuances of the language, the rhythm, the cadence.
It's like learning a whole new way of expressing yourself.
Exactly. And then there's the networking aspect.
Oh, yeah. Hollywood is all about who you know.
To a certain extent, yes.
Right.
But it's also about building a reputation for being reliable, professional, and talented.
And de Armas clearly has all of those qualities.
No, she does.
In spades.
In spades.
And let's not forget the role of luck.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes it's just being in the right place at the right time.
You know, I read somewhere that she met her future agent at a dinner party.
Wow. Talk about serendipity.
I know, right?
It's amazing how chance encounters can sometimes change the course of our lives.
It's true, but it's also important to note that de Armas was prepared for that opportunity.
Right.
She had the talent, the drive, and the language skills to make the most of it.
She was ready for her big break.
That's a really good point. It's like that saying luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity.
Exactly. And de Armas seems to be a master of creating her own luck.
I love that.
She's got that drive and that talent that just makes things happen.
Okay, so we've talked about her raw talent, her dedication, her fearlessness, and her strategic approach to breaking into Hollywood.
We've covered a lot of ground.
But there's another layer to her story that I find particularly fascinating.
I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
The cultural impact of Blonde.
Ah, yeah.
This wasn't just another role for her.
No, it wasn't.
It was a chance to embody one of the most iconic and misunderstood figures of the 20th century.
Marilyn Monroe's legacy is complex and multifaceted.
It really is.
She was a symbol of beauty, glamour, and sexuality.
Oh, yeah.
But she was also a vulnerable woman who struggled with personal demons and the pressures of fame.
That's true.
And de Armas' performance sparked a lot of debate about how we portray such iconic figures, especially women on screen.
It did.
The casting choice itself was controversial.
Oh, for sure.
Some argued that a Cuban actress shouldn't play an American icon, while others praised the decision as a step towards greater diversity and representation in Hollywood.
Wow, it's a conversation that's been happening for years.
It has.
Who gets to tell whose stories? And how do we ensure that those stories are told authentically and respectfully?
It's a complex issue with no easy answers.
It really is.
But the fact that de Armas' performance sparked such a dialogue is a testament to the power of art to provoke thought and challenge our assumptions. It's a good thing to get people talking and thinking critically.
It's like she's using her platform to push us to think critically about the way we see the world.
Exactly, and that's a powerful thing.
It really is.
So I think it's time to shift gears a bit and delve into some of the specific techniques she uses to bring her characters to life.
Okay, I'm ready.
What are some of the things that stand out to you about her acting style?
Well, one thing that strikes me is her incredible range.
Oh, absolutely.
She can seamlessly transition from playing a vulnerable, innocent character like Marta in Knives Out to a seductive and dangerous femme fatale like Paloma in No Time to Die.
It's like she has a different persona for each role, a unique way of moving, speaking, and even thinking.
Exactly. She doesn't just rely on her physical appearance to convey a character.
No.
She embodies them from the inside out.
She really transforms herself.
I've heard she's a method actor.
Is that right?
Yeah, which means she really immerses herself in her roles.
Wow.
She'll spend months researching, studying, and even living like her character to prepare.
That's dedication.
I know.
And that level of dedication is evident in her performances.
Oh, for sure.
She doesn't just deliver lines, she inhabits her characters completely.
And she has this amazing ability to convey emotion with just a look or a gesture.
Oh, she's got such expressive eyes.
Remember that scene in Blade Runner 2049 where she's trying to comfort Ryan Gosling's character Kay even though she's just a hologram?
Oh, yes. That scene was heartbreaking.
Her eyes in that scene were just heartbreaking.
You could feel the depth of her empathy, even though her character wasn't technically human.
It's like she has this uncanny ability to tap into the raw human emotions that connect us all.
Exactly.
And that's what makes her such a captivating actress.
She draws you in and makes you feel things.
Yeah, even when you're watching a film about a futuristic dystopia.
She's a master of her craft, there's no doubt about it.
She really is.
And she's still evolving,
yeah.
still exploring new facets of her talent.
It's exciting to think about what she'll do next.
She's one of those rare actors who keeps you guessing, who keeps you on the edge of your seat, wondering what she'll surprise you with next.
I can't wait to see what she does next.
Me too. It's going to be exciting.
So tell me, what do you think is the most significant difference between her performances in American films versus her earlier work in Cuba and Spain?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
I think one of the most notable differences is the level of subtlety and nuance in her American roles.
Really?
Yeah, in her earlier work, she often played more archetypal characters.
Like what?
The ingenue, the rebellious teenager, the femme fatale.
Oh, yeah, those classic tropes.
Exactly. But in her Hollywood films, she's been given the opportunity to explore more complex and layered characters, like Marta in Knives Out or Marilyn Monroe in Blonde.
Right.
Those roles really allowed her to showcase her range
Oh, for sure.
and her depth.
Okay, that makes sense. Hollywood films often have bigger budgets and more time for character development.
Exactly, which gives actors more space to really sink their teeth into their roles.
And de Armas has clearly taken advantage of those opportunities.
Yeah.
She's shown this remarkable ability to convey internal conflict, emotional depth, and even moral ambiguity in her American roles.
You can really see her growth as an actor in those performances.
It's like she's become even more adept at conveying the unspoken, the things that simmer beneath the surface.
It's true, her performances have become more internalized, more focused on the subtle gestures and expressions that reveal a character's true nature.
That's a testament to her growth as an actress.
Absolutely.
She's not just playing characters, she's inhabiting them, bringing them to life with a depth and complexity that's truly remarkable.
She's really become a master of her craft.
And it's exciting to think about where she'll go from here.
I know, right? She's only just begun to scratch the surface of her potential.
Well, after this fascinating discussion, I'm even more eager to see what the future holds for Ana de Armas.
Me too. She's a star on the rise.
We've covered so much ground already.
We have.
Her early beginnings in Cuba, her move to Spain, her triumphant arrival in Hollywood.
All her iconic roles.
Her acting techniques.
And the cultural impact of her work.
But there's still so much more to explore.
So stay tuned, folks, because in the next part of our deep dive,
yes,
we'll be delving into some of the lesser-known aspects of de Armas's career,
Ooh.
her personal life, and her thoughts on the future of the film industry.
I can't wait.
We'll also be tackling some of the criticisms she's faced.
Right.
And exploring what those critiques reveal about the evolving landscape of Hollywood.
That's going to be good.
And of course, we'll be sharing some fun facts and behind-the-scenes anecdotes that you won't find anywhere else.
I love a good anecdote.
So don't touch that dial because we're just getting started.
We'll be right back after a short break. Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're picking up right where we left off with the one and only Ana de Armas, and I'm excited to kind of dig even deeper into her journey.
Me too. She's fascinating.
We were just talking about the cultural impact of Blonde.
Right.
And the complexities of playing such an iconic figure.
It's a role that comes with a lot of baggage.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And speaking of complex figures, let's talk about how de Armas approaches roles that spark debate.
Oh, sounds good.
I mean, you're talking about Blonde again, right? I mean, playing Marilyn Monroe is practically an American rite of passage for actresses.
It's true.
But it always comes with intense scrutiny.
Oh, absolutely. Everyone has an opinion about who should play Marilyn and how.
And de Armas faced that head on. I read in an interview that she actually had to audition for everyone, like producers, financiers, to prove she could do it.
Talk about pressure.
I know. I mean, she didn't shy away from the challenge either.
No, she didn't.
She even worked with a dialect coach for 9 months to perfect Marilyn's accent.
9 months, that's dedication.
I know that's serious commitment, but from what I've heard, she nailed it. Critics were really impressed with her performance.
Yeah, many were, though. There were certainly differing opinions, which just highlights how complex and culturally significant a figure Marilyn Monroe remains.
It's true, she's such an icon. And it's fascinating how one role can generate so much discussion about representation of cultural icons and the expectations we place on actors.
It's a lot to unpack.
It really is. It's like Blonde became this cultural touchstone.
I see what you mean.
A way to examine our own perceptions of fame, beauty, and the price of celebrity.
It really makes you think about the costs of fame.
Absolutely. And that conversation in itself is valuable.
Oh, for sure.
It forces us to grapple with uncomfortable truths and to question our own biases.
It's a good thing to challenge our assumptions.
So, to bring it back to Ana de Armas,
Right.
it seems like she's really thoughtful about the role she takes on.
It does seem that way. She said in interviews that she's drawn to characters with depth and complexity roles that challenge her as an actress.
Which makes sense when you look at her filmography.
Yeah, she doesn't shy away from difficult roles.
No, she doesn't. She's played everything from a holographic AI to a Cuban spy to, well, Marilyn Monroe.
That range is seriously impressive.
I know, it's incredible.
And it suggests she's not content to be typecast or to stay within one genre.
She's definitely not afraid to take risks.
And that's what makes her so captivating to watch. You never quite know what she'll do next.
Totally agree. And that unpredictability is part of what makes her such a compelling actress to follow.
Definitely keeps you on your toes.
You get the sense that she's still evolving, still exploring her potential.
It's like we're witnessing the beginning of something really special.
It's almost like she's still in the early chapters of her career, even though she's already accomplished so much.
It's exciting to think about all the stories she might still tell.
It really is, and it makes you wonder what kind of legacy she's building, what mark she'll leave on cinema.
That's a great question, and one that only time will answer.
Yeah, true.
But I have a feeling she's just getting started.
I think so too.
We haven't seen the best of her yet.
Well, until then, I'm just going to keep my eye out for whatever she does next.
Same here. She's definitely one to watch.
I'm already anticipating her next red carpet appearance.
Oh, me too. She always looks stunning.
Okay, so before we wrap up, I have to ask you this one more thing.
Sure. What's up?
There's this one fascinating detail about Ana de Armas that I think speaks volumes about her character.
Okay. I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
Despite her crazy busy schedule and her international fame, she still finds time to visit her family in Cuba.
Really?
Yeah, she still goes back to her hometown.
That's lovely.
She even owns a house in Havana and makes it a point to stay connected to her roots.
That's so grounding.
I know it shows a real sense of humility.
It does.
A refusal to let fame disconnect her from where she came from.
I admire that about her.
I think it's an important aspect of her story.
It is.
It suggests a humility and a recognition of the people and places that shaped her.
She hasn't forgotten where she came from.
Exactly. And I think it's so easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of Hollywood
Right.
and lose sight of what really matters.
It happens all the time.
But she seems to have this really strong sense of self
Yeah, she knows who she is.
and a deep appreciation for her heritage.
It's refreshing to see.
It's like that connection gives her a sense of perspective, keeps her grounded amidst the glitz and glamour.
And that connection, that sense of identity, likely influences her work in ways we may not even fully realize.
Oh, for sure.
It adds a depth and authenticity to her performances.
You know, it's interesting to think about how her experiences in Cuba might inform her choices as an actress.
Absolutely. Her upbringing in a country with a rich cultural heritage and a complex political history undoubtedly shapes her perspective in her art.
Right. It's like she brings that unique lens to every role she plays, even if it's not explicitly stated.
It's part of her subtext, the unspoken layers of meaning that she brings to her characters.
And that depth, that richness is what makes her so compelling to watch.
She's not just a pretty face. She's a storyteller, an artist who uses her craft to explore the human condition.
And she does it with such grace and authenticity.
It's truly remarkable to witness.
So we've got an actress who started young, conquered multiple countries and languages, tackled a diverse range of challenging roles, and stayed true to her roots.
It's quite a story.
It's pretty incredible, wouldn't you say?
It really is. And what's even more exciting is that this is just the beginning for her.
Right.
Who knows what amazing things she'll accomplish next.
That's the beauty of it, isn't it?
It is. The future is wide open.
And with someone as talented and driven as Ana de Armas, it's sure to be filled with captivating performances and thought-provoking roles.
I can't wait to see what she does next.
Me neither. Okay, I have to confess something.
What's that?
When I first started researching for this deep dive, I wasn't sure what to expect.
Really?
Yeah, I knew she was a talented actress,
Right.
but I didn't realize the depth of her journey, the challenges she'd overcome, the choices she'd made to get where she is today.
It's been a learning experience for me, too.
It's been eye-opening, to say the least.
I think that's the beauty of a deep dive, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's about going beyond the surface, exploring the nuances and discovering the unexpected.
Exactly. Like, I knew she'd learned English for her roles, but I hadn't really considered what that process might have been like, the dedication and discipline it would require.
Right. It's a huge undertaking.
And then to think about the cultural barriers she's had to navigate, the stereotypes she's had to defy, it's incredibly inspiring.
It really speaks to her resilience and determination.
Doesn't it?
She could have usually stayed within her comfort zone.
Yeah, for sure.
But she chose to push herself to embrace new challenges, to forge her own path.
And she did it all with such grace and humility.
It's true, she seems to have a really good head on her shoulders.
It's rare to see someone achieve that level of success without letting it go to their head.
It's a testament to her character.
You know, it's funny. I was talking to a friend the other day, and we were discussing the whole Nepo baby debate in Hollywood.
Oh yeah, that's a hot topic these days.
You know, the idea that children of celebrities have an unfair advantage in the industry.
Right, the age-old debate about nature versus nurture.
Exactly, and it made me think about Ana de Armas.
How come?
Because she's a perfect example of someone who's achieved success through sheer hard work and talent, not because of family connections or privilege.
Right, she's a self-made star.
A testament to the fact that it's still possible to break into Hollywood based on merit alone.
And gives you hope, doesn't it?
It does. It's a reminder that the American dream is still alive.
Yeah.
Even in an industry as notoriously difficult as Hollywood.
And her story is a beacon of hope for aspiring actors everywhere.
It really is.
Proof that with enough passion, dedication, and resilience, anything is possible.
Okay, I'm getting chills just thinking about it.
Me too. It's inspiring.
You know, one thing that really struck me during our research
Yeah.
was how de Armas talks about her craft.
Oh, how so?
She doesn't see acting as just a job.
Right.
It's an art form, a way to explore the human experience, to connect with others on a deeper level.
She's spoken about the importance of vulnerability, of being willing to expose your raw emotions on screen.
Exactly, and that's what makes her performances so powerful.
She holds nothing back.
She's not afraid to show her flaws, her insecurities, the messy, complicated parts of being human.
She's not afraid to be real.
And I think that's one of the reasons why she resonates so deeply with audiences.
I agree.
She's not just a glamorous Hollywood star. She's a human being who's willing to share her heart and soul with the world.
And that authenticity is incredibly rare and incredibly valuable.
It's like she's reminding us that it's okay to be vulnerable, to be messy, to be real.
In a world that often feels increasingly artificial and superficial, that message is more powerful than ever.
So well said. Okay, I'm officially obsessed.
Haha, I feel ya.
I need to see everything she's ever been in.
You and me both.
Okay, before we wrap up this part of our deep dive,
Okay.
I wanted to touch on something we mentioned earlier. The criticisms de Armas has faced throughout her career.
All right.
It seems like every time she takes on a new role, there are always a few naysayers
Oh, there's always someone.
who question her abilities or her suitability for the part.
It comes with the territory.
That's the nature of the beast, unfortunately. Fame often comes with a price.
It does.
And that price includes being subject to public scrutiny and criticism.
It's the downside of living in the public eye.
I guess so.
Your life becomes a topic of conversation, and everyone feels like they have a right to weigh in.
And sometimes those criticisms can be quite harsh and hurtful.
I can imagine.
I remember reading some of the comments about her casting as Marilyn Monroe, and they were just plain nasty.
It's unfortunate that people feel the need to tear others down, especially when they're hiding behind the anonymity of the internet.
So true. It's like they forget that celebrities are human beings with feelings.
Exactly. And those negative comments can have a real impact on someone's mental health and well-being.
It's important to remember that words have power.
They do.
And we should always strive to be kind and respectful, even when we disagree with someone's choices.
I completely agree. Constructive criticism is one thing, but personal attacks are never acceptable.
So how do you think de Armas deals with all that negativity?
Well, she seems to handle it with grace and poise.
She does.
I think she's learned to focus on the positive and to tune out the noise.
That's a good strategy.
She surrounds herself with a supportive team and concentrates on the work that fulfills her.
It's like she's developed a thick skin, a shield, to protect herself from the negativity that inevitably comes with fame.
Exactly. And that resilience is admirable.
It is.
It's a reminder that we all have the power to choose how we react to negativity, and that we don't have to let it define us.
Well said. I'm feeling pretty inspired after this part of our deep dive.
Me too.
We've explored the complexities of her career, her personal life, and the challenges she's faced.
Right.
and she's come out on top every time.
She's a force to be reckoned with.
She really is a true icon in the making,
Absolutely.
and I can't wait to see what she does next.
Me neither.
We're back for the final part of our deep dive into the world of Ana de Armas, and I'm already feeling a little nostalgic that it's almost over.
I know, it's been quite a journey.
It has.
We've explored so many facets of her career, from her early days in Cuba to her Hollywood triumphs, from the controversies surrounding Blonde to her inspiring resilience in the face of criticism.
You know, it's interesting how sometimes you start a deep dive thinking you have a decent grasp of a topic,
Right.
but then you learn all these new things that completely change your perspective.
That's the power of a deep dive, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's about going beyond the surface level, exploring the nuances and discovering the unexpected. And I think we've done just that with Ana de Armas.
Exactly. Like, I knew she was talented, but I didn't realize the full extent of her journey, the challenges she overcame, the choices she made to get where she is today.
Right. She's come a long way.
It's honestly been inspiring.
It is, and it's a reminder that success rarely happens overnight. It takes hard work, dedication, and a willingness to embrace new experiences.
And sometimes it takes learning a whole new language.
Oh, yeah.
That still blows my mind.
Imagine the commitment that requires not just to learn the language, but to master it to the point where you can act convincingly in it.
It's incredible.
I remember reading an interview where she talked about how challenging it was to learn English, especially with the added pressure of performing in a second language.
Wow, I can only imagine. It's like adding another layer of difficulty to an already demanding profession.
She described it as having to relearn how to act, because so much of what we convey as actors is through subtle nuances of language, tone, and inflection.
Right.
To have to rebuild those skills in a new language is incredibly impressive.
Yeah, it really is.
It shows her dedication.
And her passion for her craft.
Absolutely.
So what does this all mean?
Yeah.
What can we learn from Ana de Armas' story?
I think, for one, it shows that talent can take you far,
Okay.
but it's the hard work and dedication that truly elevate you.
And being open to new experiences, even if they seem daunting, can lead to incredible opportunities.
Absolutely. And it's a good reminder that staying connected to your roots, to who you are at your core, can be a source of strength and inspiration no matter where life takes you.
You know, thinking back to everything we've discussed, I'm struck by how she seems to defy easy categorization.
In what way?
She's not just a Bond girl. She's not just a Hollywood starlet. She's not just Marilyn Monroe. She's this complex, multifaceted individual who's constantly evolving and pushing boundaries.
I think that's what makes her so fascinating. She doesn't fit neatly into any box, and she's not afraid to challenge expectations. She's forging her own path, and that's incredibly inspiring.
It's like she's saying, I'm not going to let anyone define me. I'm going to define myself.
Exactly. And that kind of self-determination is rare
Yeah.
and incredibly powerful. It's a message that resonates far beyond the world of Hollywood. It's a reminder that we all have the power to shape our own destinies, to break free from limiting beliefs, and to embrace our full potential.
Okay. I'm officially adding Be More Like Ana de Armas to my list of New Year's resolutions.
I think that's an excellent goal.
So we've gone from Cuban theater to Hollywood blockbusters. We've explored her journey, her challenges, her triumphs, her acting techniques, her personal life, and even the criticisms she's faced. I feel like we've really gotten to know Ana de Armas, wouldn't you say?
I think so, and most importantly, we've hopefully given you, our listener, a deeper understanding of who she is, what she's accomplished, and why she deserves all the accolades she's received.
Well said. And with that, we wrap up our deep dive into the world of Ana de Armas.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for joining us on this journey.
We hope you've enjoyed getting to know this incredible actress as much as we have.
She's definitely one to watch.
Absolutely. And who knows, maybe our next deep dive will be on a topic suggested by you.
Until next time.